Hey, Grant Nelson for Thief River Falls Radio with another edition of Community Grant, where we go out and find cool people doing cool things too. And we found another good one. We found a real storehouse down in Red Lake Falls. We're with Chris Ravra right now from River's Edge Pottery. Chris, talk about your pottery a little bit. How did you get started?
I've always loved pottery. I've admired it for years, and about 2 years ago, Pam Dahlman and I from Thief River started taking classes from Ann Pearsall in town here, who has a studio, and she's a retired art teacher, and we worked with her for about 1.5 years. We went there twice a week and did pottery classes with her, and she's very knowledgeable and she's a great potter, so she taught us all kinds of stuff, and then we kind of went off on our own and have been playing, both of us, ever since.
What got you started? Was it the interest in just something to occupy your time, or is it something you've always liked about the idea of building things? Or
I'm a crafter at heart my whole life, but pottery is something I always enjoyed and admired, like I said. So when the opportunity came, it was something that Pam and I both jumped at. I've done plates where I've impressed leaves and things from outside. I love doing that. I love doing mugs. I've been doing a lot of hand-built mugs. So I do a lot of hand building and rolling. There's so many different textures with embossed rolling pins and, like I said, leaves, and take doilies that are heirlooms and you can impress them in the clay, and you've got that feature forever.
Well, let me ask you now, is there something special about taking something really from the ground that's really kind of shapeless and formless and making something out of it that really, could last an awfully long time?
Absolutely. And the nice thing with clay, unlike wood, is if you make something and it flops, you just remold it and try again.
Is this where you work?
This is my pottery. I do a lot of stuff on the wheel, and I do a lot of hand-built stuff.
Well, let's see it.
Start by centering the clay. And once you feel like it's centered.
I feel like you could go cup or saucer right now.
Right, yeah. It could be either. And I'm not really sure what I'm making, so we'll just see what happens. And there are so many good potters around that can do this in 1 or 2 pulls. They can take the clay and pull it into a bowl or a cup. And there's so, kind of like any hobby, there's so many different tools and things that you can get to go with it.
I feel like a learned, practiced set of hands is probably the best tool, though.
Yeah. They say you got to throw 100 pots before you...
Is that right?
Yeah. And you can have a day where everything goes just like you want it, and then you can have a day where everything ends up in the recycle bucket. And it just kind of depends. Sometimes the clay has a mind of its own. But then I have Joe, who's made me some cool tools, even to... This is an old butter knife. And I can finish the bottom with that.
Oh yeah, I see the detailing.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
it gives it what's called a foot.
Okay.
And I usually do that on the bottom of my mugs and stuff. It kind of finishes it off, but it's a whole process. You make your bowl or cup, whether it's hand built or wheel thrown. It has to dry till it's completely dry, because if it's not, when you fire it, it will explode in the kiln. Okay. It's bisque fired to about 1800 degrees, and then we bring it in and paint it or glaze it, and then it's fired again to last night. The firing was 2,167 degrees. So when that kiln is rocking, it's red hot in there. The pottery's orange, everything's red hot. And it takes about 18 hours from start to finish for the things to fire and then cool down enough that you can take it out of the kiln.
Let's go take a look at the kiln. We're out in the shop. We're going to get into the kiln. We're going to see the difference between what we started with and what we ended up with. Chris, you do the honors?
Yeah, we're down to 141 degrees, so stuff might be a little warm, but this is always like Christmas, opening up the kiln and seeing how things come out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And this is the roller that I showed you.
Okay, so you rolled out...
This was a slab.
A slab?
Yep. And rolled the pattern into the clay. And then this is a hand-built mug.
And then how did you get the bottom on there?
It's
Another piece of slab, and then you just...
Yep, it's a circle cut out, and then you form the mug, and then it's a hand-built handle.
That is the most beautiful blue. I haven't seen a nice blue like that since Depression, some of the Depression era glass that they had.
And then this is another technique where you use slip. It's like a watered down clay, and make designs on the mug, and then it's fired so that all comes through. Yeah. This is called slip trailing. So just a new technique. I'm always trying because there's just so many things. It's so fun to try out different techniques. And there too. So
this is a big. How did you get the intricate detail on it?
There too. This is warm. This is a feather roller. It's got feathers in it, but this is a roller as well. So this is hand built.
How about the little handle on top? That looks like something you put together.
Yep.
Oh, that's a leaf.
Yeah.
There's so much detail in all of this. Nice little water glass.
Yeah, or something.
Something. Put something in there. Look at that. Is that that looks like a jewelry box?
Yeah.
And it's got even an inscription on the bottom, and all the detail on the side. It's in the shape of a heart.
Yep, and this is a hand-built tray with that same roller.
What a clever idea, and then with the handles on each end, right above.
Yep.
So different. I like that. It's unique.
And then with the little scrap pieces, you know, when you roll stuff out, we're gonna do mobiles with those.
Okay.
So yeah, all kinds of treasures.
Of all these, are there any favorites that you have? Favorite designs, something that really means something to you?
A lot of the stuff I do will have a feather imprinted in the bottom.
The work you've shown us here today is just fantastic and beautiful, and actually it's kind of inspirational. You know that, Chris?
Thank you. Thank you.
Right out of the earth onto someone's mantle. Chris Wavra was nice enough to bring us out to River's Edge Pottery and show us some of her fantastic work. Thanks very much to her, and I'm Grant Nelson with another community grant for Thief River Falls Radio.